One thing for certain about humanity is our curiosity for innovation. Everybody wants to change the world and change the way that people lead their daily lives. You see, revolution is amazing to see at major levels, sending the first man to the moon, putting everything you could ever want right there in your pocket at all times. It's a beautiful thing to see, but there's always too much. The distance that technology has traveled in the past 50 years, someone 100 years ago wouldn't believe you. They'd call you insane for saying that every library you could ever be in is right there, right next to you. The effect that technology has had on our daily lives, the way that we depend on it so much, the effect that it has on our mental and physical, and the social effects that it carries on our children today. You see, technology, it's an amazing thing to have everything you could ever want, but it also closes you into another world that just isn't real. You see, technology has come a far way, but we depend so much on it, and it shows. In Quebec, Canada, in 1989, the power grid shut down for 10 hours. Only 10 hours, not even a full day. This 10 hours cost the city $1 to $2 billion. Even recently in 2019, Venezuela had a blackout for 5 days, the entire country. Food was cut to Access to food was cut in half. For most people, access to water was cut to none, and crime rates spiked with heavy looting. 26 people died in hospitals as a concurrent effect of the blackouts, and the country lost $1 billion of GDP. Even in our classrooms now, we are so dependent on technology. Everything we know is every curriculum and every assignment is electronically based, most likely in Google Classroom. In my personal experience, if the Wi-Fi or Chromes aren't working in a building and while you're in the class, most teachers are at a loss because you can't just go online and start up your essay, start up your presentation, start your research. And most people forget that there are other ways of obtaining information that is just on paper. It's in the library next to you, but it has become a skill to sit down and read a book. And this is a documented physical effect that technology has had on our brains. We estimatedly take about 5 times of more information every single day than we did 35 years ago. This takes a toll on your mind. The average attention span is about 8 seconds, shorter than a goldfish. Their brain is the size of their eye. This is a direct effect of most of the things that you love most on your phone, like TikTok and Instagram. And it has a real impact on your mind. It causes you to have a hard time paying attention to one certain thing because you're so used to jumping around to so many different things in such a short time. According to the annual NHIS studies, the presence of attentive disorders has about doubled in the past 20, 30 years. And that is a direct effect of this sensory overload that we get every single day, spending all this time looking at our phones. In our classrooms, we see it. Kids can't just pay attention to their assignments. They can't just sit down and write that essay. Like, it's so easy to just get distracted and go on your phone, play some games or something. You have to text somebody back. Every vibration you feel, it's like you have to jump to it. And that is an absolutely direct effect of that sensory overload that we obtain. It's even bad for your eyes. You see, the amount of time we spend looking at a screen on average is about 7 hours and some change. We go to school, we sit on our Chromebooks all day doing all our assignments, and then we go home, sit on those Chromebooks a little longer doing our homework, and then we go and sit on our phone and watch TikTok, Instagram, whatever, watching our TV. All this builds up very strong tension in your eyes. It causes blurred vision, eye strain, nearsightedness for a long-term effect. And it's really bad for your mental. And with all this time that we spend looking at a screen, it only makes you wonder what has us in such a trance. And your main answer? Social media. We spend so much time on social media.
There are no events today, so on to our regular announcements. ALHS esports team will be playing Overwatch 2 and Rocket League starting in December. Come down to the Tech Center before and after school to sign up for either game. Sophomores and juniors, if you're considering applying to UNMC's High School Alliance program, there will be an informational meeting Wednesday, November 16th at 8:10 in Ms. Boone's Ryan's room, B213. Check in with your first period teacher. And lastly, signups for winter esports will be this week before and after school. Stop by the Tech Center to sign up for Varsity Overwatch 2 and Varsity Rocket League tryouts. Those are your daily announcements, and remember, every day is a great day to be a Lynx.
Your main answer is going to be social media. We spend so much time on social media looking at this fake reality that everybody has put onto these apps and these sites. You see, everything you post most likely is you at your best. You know, you're dressing up for a photo shoot, you're at some fun occasion, and everybody sees this and they're like, oh my God, like they're so pretty, they're having so much fun. And at some point, people begin to believe that like they are not as worth it as these people who spend all their time on these social media apps, these influencers, these models who spend all their time editing and getting all this stuff ready just for one post. It also has gotten us used to thinking before we talk. You see that message pop up on your phone and you see that notification and you're like, you think, what can I say to that? You sit there maybe 5-10 minutes, leave them on delivered. They don't know that you saw it. They just assume, hey, they're waiting, they're going to get to their phone another time. People spend so much time in their rooms talking through their screen that it's so difficult to be able to put out a live conversation. Because in a live conversation, you're just going back and forth with somebody. You know, sometimes it comes to you, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it doesn't. But at the end of the day, you will end up continuing that conversation. You can't just stop talking to somebody. And this has caused a lot of social anxiety for a lot of people. For many, it's very hard to get out of bed and go into various social environment every day and talk to other people. But when you see them at home and you're talking to them online, they're the most lively people you'll ever meet, if only they were not on a FaceTime. You see, all this time we spend on our phone has destroyed our world. We spend so much time in this fake reality, this human-created dimension, that and man strives for perfection. So that is what you see. That's what you believe. And since this is man-created, it's different. It's nothing like the real world. And people have lost sight of that. People have lost sight of that togetherness and community. Neighborhood streets are empty. People are texting and looking at their phones at all the times while you're talking. And it's hard now. The dependency that we've gotten on this social media and this technology, the effect it has on our physical and mental health, and the social effects it puts on our future, because people are so used to talking through these screens. And so as I end this speech today, I would like to leave you here to think about something. With all this technology that we have created and all of this freedom that we've created in our world, does it really open us up, or is it closing us in on ourselves? Thank you.